Hello pediatric SLPs. Today I want to share with you 3 ways you can make books adaptable and more interactive in your therapy sessions. As speech pathologists, we can pretty much all agree that books are a great way to promote early language skills and interaction with each other, whether it's during our group speech therapy sessions, whether it's at home with parents and brothers and sisters. And that's why I wanted to share with you 3 really great ways I've learned to adapt books, whether they're board books, whether they're books with a lot of words, whether they're high contrast books with a lot of opportunities for repetition and imitation, we can still adapt them for whatever our clients need. As always, resources are going to be linked in my captions, so if you are looking for any of these books or links to find some of my materials, you'll find those there. One of my favorite ways to adapt books is by taking these board books that my preschoolers absolutely love and putting extra things to do with our hands in them. This book is so great, Dear Zoo. If you don't have it in your toolkit, I highly recommend it. Plus, it fits perfectly in my speech bag when I'm going to travel or when I'm going in the homes. I can take it with me. I also always bring along some kind of a container because, check it out, we're gonna do more than just look at the pictures. With this book, I like that we can already manipulate it by opening, so sometimes what I'll do is I'll hold it at the top and encourage my little ones to request me to open it, so we might knock on it, knock knock, which already builds some imitation in there. Ask them to open, we might sign open, we might say open, we might even use some sort of AAC or like a Big Mac or switch to request to open. Whatever my client needs, I'm going to adapt all my materials for. But what I've done here is I've gone on Board Maker and made tiny little cutouts of the animals that I've laminated on cardstock and then Velcroed in, because kids love manipulating even more objects and taking out. Plus, so many of them just love the idea of ripping something out of a book and playing with it and exploring it, maybe talking about it. So we might talk about the elephant, we'll take him out of his box, and then I always like to have them put it in something. That helps us move on to the next page. So we'll put the elephant in the box. Then we'll go on and do the same thing over and over and over and over again for every animal. We can talk about where the animals live. We can talk about the sounds that they say, like snake says. We can even talk about whether we like them or not. Maybe I like elephants, but I don't like snakes. They're scary. Or maybe we talk about what we would do if we're around one. You know, we might need to be careful when we're around certain snakes. Maybe elephants too, because they're really big. And then once you finish the book, the best part is the fun's not over. If your little one is still showing interest in the book and maybe wants to go back and do it all over again, I have that happen a lot, especially with our beloved animal books. We still get to put all of the animals back in their boxes. So not only do you get more time to sit and interact with the little ones, you also get the chance to do some matching and maybe one-to-one correspondence. Another thing I like to do is when they get to the elephant, we know we have another elephant to put in the box because we took him out earlier. So maybe they can request elephant by saying elephant or want elephant, however they choose to request. And then I might do some communication temptation in here if I want to target yes/no questions. I might give them a snake and say, here you go. And the idea is they would say, no, that's not the elephant. That doesn't match. And so then we can do, is this an elephant? Yes, no. Is this the elephant? Yes, no. And we'll put him away. The second way I love adapting my books is by always creating some sort of a language board that goes along with the book. This is a great way, not only, again, to maybe work on that matching, but also that requesting. There are always opportunities for yes, no. If you add those to your board, there's opportunities to ask for more and to just further engage with the activity. Now, this book, Sam Wants More, is a part of a series of what we call noisy stories. These are books that I have linked below. They're basically board maker books. So if you can't find them, or maybe they're not in your price range to order, you can make things very similar to these. The idea is that if you look at my language board, all the food items that are gonna come up match. But what I love about this is there's 2 key phrases, and every other page there's a little pattern and repetition to it. So the first page, Sam likes ice cream. We say I love this because I love to pat my belly when I say and encourage that imitation. Or maybe we can hook up a Big Mac to have the two phrases or maybe the key words on here, so that way my little ones not only maybe can say it, they can point to it, or they can press the button when it's their turn. So for instance, if Sam wants more, again, we can also sign this. I didn't even say that.
More.
Sam wants more. And then we go to the next one. Sam likes pizza. Do you see what I'm saying? So that is my second way to adapt, by taking some technology and adapting it to the book, whether that's in the form of a low-tech board, whether we're talking about a Cheap Talk or a Big Mac or even Proloquo, whatever works for your student. The third way I like to adapt books, and this is really fun for some of my older students, is by taking a book that they love, that is very engaging for them, that maybe we've read a couple of times. The reason I love this book, not only is it near and dear to my heart, because I'll tell you in a second why, but this book has a lot of rhyming. It also has some really good blending sounds. So like my S-Blend kids like to do stick, my R-Blend kids, there's brick, there's click, there's a lot of good blending sounds. I also use this a lot with my K and G kids to get tongue placement on those ick sounds. But what I've done with brick and stick is created an activity that goes along with it in the form of maybe play, or if I've got my little crafters. So here's what we do. We read the book, and then when we're done reading the book, we might do a craft. This one is our ice cream craft. And guess what? I also have a language board for this. So after we read the book, we talk about how much we love ice cream, and I don't want to spoil the book for you, but there's a very good lesson in here about eating ice cream too fast. We then make our own ice cream. We can choose what flavor goes on it. We can choose how many scoops. We can talk about the flavors we like. We can talk about what we don't like. We can talk about how yummy it is. All this interaction comes from first maybe doing a book and talking about the lesson learned, and then getting to create something to take home and have ownership of the lesson you learned. So those are my 3 ways to make books more interactive and engaging for your students in a speech therapy session. Again, this can range from anywhere in early intervention to maybe 3rd or 4th grade with books like Brick and Stick. And yes, I've linked all the books that I've shown you here. This one is a special one if you are interested in Brick and Stick. My boyfriend and his mom actually wrote and Mark illustrated this book, and so I've been using it for years in my speech sessions. I know a lot of my friends love using Brick and Stick. I'll have to do a Brick and Stick video for you to show you how magical this book really is. Just gotta throw that out there and send some love to the people I love. If you like this video, comment, like, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next. Ask me questions if you have questions about how I've adapted books. Everything is linked below for you. I hope you have a magical week and have fun with your books.